Hey, ladies and gentlemen, spawning the top right corner of the map, representing Axiom, it is, of course, the red Terran player, Ryung.
And his opponent, the lower left-hand corner of the map, Neoplanet S. He is GSL champion, up 1-0 in this series from Team ACER, MMA.
I had to go to the bathroom, like, after we finished Life versus Heart, but I was like, if we're jumping right into this, I'm sticking around because I'm too excited to leave my seat for these two players. MMA is a player we don't get a lot, like, it's kind of sad because these guys have both branched out. They've tried, you know, the odd Zotac or the odd SEA Masters Cup type thing, like the odd weekly tournament, but neither of them compete regularly. And a big part of that is they don't reveal their build orders, which it's perfectly acceptable, makes sense when you're competing at high level stakes like DreamHack, like WCS. The last thing you want to do is make your build orders public, but I can't tell you, I've got such a player crush on MMA, so I'm really glad we got to cast him here.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of MMA ever since him versus Polt back there in the GSL Super Tournament. It really felt like MMA was just unbeatable on Slayers at that time, and then Polt comes along, has these builds catered specifically to beat MMA, and that's when you saw really the guts of MMA get tested from there after that.
Well, with another TVT, we got a Reaper opening, so a little bit of a deviation already. We're not going to have that perfectly mirrored build. Man, I can't even get over it. Like, you see players in mirror matchups, they mirror their builds for like 5 minutes, and that's kind of standard because that's where most builds go. But that was like 10 minutes of like the perfect, crispest build order out of both players.
Yeah, man. Crazy stuff. Impressive stuff. And, Ryung has always been a very, very impressive Terran player, and he's going to switch his style up here, Rifkin, going for the Reaper opening. Well, MMA looks like he's content to go with the same build he did last time.
Man, I got to tell you, one thing I'm looking forward to when we're done with all this is eating some real food. I don't want to whine about it too much, but somebody is making hash browns, Doom, and it's not fair.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know. I saw your packets of chicken noodles, man.
Those are more for my throat. I don't drink hot liquids. I can't stand coffee. I can't drink tea. So I eat lukewarm chicken noodle soup.
Interesting strategy there. See if it pays off, Cotton.
I like metagaming my food, you know?
I
Cotton, dude, did you just make a dodgeball reference? God damn it, Doom. It's too late in the day for that, but alright, so Reaper pokes in, and I like that he didn't go up the ramp, because he didn't, well, I mean, he poked up the ramp briefly, but he didn't know whether MMA had Hellions out or not, so he didn't want to press the issue too much. Keep the Reaper alive will allow him to go back for another scout later on, and just honestly keep active map control for the time being. I really like the fact that he didn't go for SCVs and get greedy.
Did he see the Hellion, or did he just kind of back up and...
I think he just backed up out of fear of what the hell is not there type thing.
Because if he saw the Hellion, I would be inclined to say he really wants to get a starport up quickly and get a Viking out.
Well, he is going to get a starport up quickly, and he is going to probably get a Viking out eventually, but Marine's going away from the ramp at the just right moment. They would have annihilated those two Reapers, that high ground vision. Oh, we'll actually sacrifice one of the Reapers. Actually, what? Okay, I was going to say, is MMA really going to let that get away?
Yeah, and I think the jig is up here for MMA. His build has been revealed. Looks like it's going to be an elevator-style Marine and Hellion push. He may even just go up the front and be able to do a lot of damage here, Rifkin. There's not a whole lot of attacking units on the field for Ryung. In fact, there's only that one Reaper to defend against this really strong push from MMA.
Yeah, and this is the big problem. Like, he wanted to try and hide his Hellions for as long as possible to not give this away, but getting the first volley off here was Ryung. He's got the Reaper with us too, so he can completely keep this at bay until the Marines get involved. But with 2 more Hellions coming out, he can easily deal with 4 Marines.
Yeah, small victories here. There are going to be 8 total on the map there, and continuing the rally is MMA. This is looking like a very strong 1-base push, and the command center from Ryung sunk 400 minerals into it. It's going to be rendered inert.
Oh, kills the SCV, so no repair is going to be able to go off here. But again, with Hellions, it's all about dancing, going in and out, in and out.
And Ryung is supply blocked as a result of that depot falling. Won't be able to make any more units at this point.
That is going to be incredibly rough because he can't quite one-shot the Marines, and he needs 1 more Hellion to be able to just really shut this push down. There we go, 2 more coming out. So now he can start actually dancing and tangoing a little bit better here on the ramp.
Yep, and pushing that medevac back is going to really reduce the amount of high ground vision that MMA has available to him. He'd be forced to burn a scan if he wants to do any type of further damage here.
Oh, geez, he didn't pull the command center into the main. It was just floating there the entire time. Okay, there's a lot of Hellions with a lot of health. We got a bunker coming down out of MMA. This is a really bold push, and if Ryung can break it, he'll be in a pretty good spot, but MMA is expanding behind this. He's not looking to make this the end of the game. It's more of like an awesome contain. Not a soft contain, but an awesome contain.
I like the contain, but it looks like Ryung is getting a little bit impatient here, trying to push down as far as he can. I like that MMA had the foresight to think of a transition with this. It just shows how many games he's probably played with this strategy,
just
being used to it.
But man, okay, finally going to start getting some siege tanks out, recognizing how desperately he needs those. This Viking is getting repaired, but that command center, it needs to go somewhere else.
Yeah, imagine if a Viking makes its way over the field here for MMA. That command center won't be long for this world. It'll be forced to land somewhere, and that'll just give MMA another opportunity to try to take it out on the ground.
Yeah, and sadly with the bunker up, the Hellions are going to become less and less effective because they can't afford to dance near the bunker.
Especially considering that those Marines are going to get healed after any engagements as well.
Oh, going to lose a couple
going to drop. This has got to be so frustrating for Ryung right now.
I know, because this isn't a siege tank at your doorstep. This isn't cloaked banshees, but this is just Marine and Hellion, and it's like getting force fielded at your base. You just can't do much about it. Bunker going to keep the Vikings away. Can't even snipe off the medevacs, but here comes that first tank, and this is what he needs to really start breaking this. Viking got to be careful. He can't afford to lose anything in the very precarious situation that he's in. Meanwhile, MMA, while he hasn't taken a supply or a worker lead, his base is up. He's going to start muling off of it. The orbital's about done, and it wasn't
small advantages.
Yeah, he didn't spend a lot to get ahead in this fashion.
He is slightly behind in terms of the SCV count. So once Ryung does get that base established, his economy should pump up a little bit quicker than MMA's. But he's not like that far back by any means. And Ryung's even going to try to counter what MMA just did by adding on a very quick third command center. And that's a good move in this game to try to come back, because it feels like he's on the back foot. It feels like he may be slightly behind, especially since MMA is really dictating the pace of this game so far. Here we go. Get a first volley off with these Vikings.
I think he's getting the first volley off with the siege tanks. Gonna slowly creep his way forward, recognizing that he's got more than his opponent.
Oh, check this out. Banshee for MMA is actually going to deter, or Banshee for Ryung is actually going to deter MMA's mining at the natural.
Oh, lands the Vikings on top of the tank, though. Marine's going to take this first ground fight. Okay, I don't think MMA can... Whoa. Yeah, he's not going to get broken. That last tank will stand, and the Vikings on the ground are actually going to do a ton of damage. Forced to land his own Vikings is Ryung, and you can't contend with Marines with landed Vikings.
And the lone Banshee for Ryung back in MMA's base going to be taken out. Rifkin, this is a terrible position for Ryung to be in, and he looks like he's trying to go mech in this situation.
Is MMA really going to 2-0 Ryung of all Terran players?
Ryung's going to hang on. He's going to try his mightiest to try to stay in this. This is group stage 3. This is a critical moment in this tournament.
SCVs are getting prepared to be pulled. The Banshees with this. The two tanks, though, are a little bit too good. The SCVs are just being kited. And the Vikings take out the Banshee. And with that, Banshee falls the last hopes of Ryung. He doesn't have a lot. He's still pumping units, but good game is called, and MMA will 2-0 Ryung.
Rifkin, that is dire straits for Ryung, considering his next match is going to be against Flash of all people. Losing to MMA, definitely not in his playbook there, but he's going to have to do his mightiest to try to stay in this tournament from here.
Yeah, that was